Hi everyone, thank you for being here. The Federal Reserve has just confirmed we are in a recession, and they have made a decision today to risk the value of your dollar in an attempt to save a failing economy and a failing system. What exactly happened? Why is everyone freaking out? And how does it impact you? Well, the Federal Reserve has cut rates for the first time in 4 years. Now, many people anticipated that they would do this by 25 basis points, but they did it by 50. The reason that this is such a big deal is that if we go back in time and we look at the last 40 years since the 1980s, the Fed has only initiated a rate cut cycle with a cut of more than 25 basis points a few times. The last time was an emergency cut for COVID in 2020, and the 2 times prior to that, guess when they were? 2007 and 2001, the Great Financial Crisis and the dot-com bubble. What this tells us is exactly what we can expect to come next. The Federal Reserve knows what it's doing in the sense that they would never initiate a 50 basis point cut unless they absolutely had to, because they know the fear that this is going to strike in the American people. The Federal Reserve's goals are simple. They have a dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices. And today, they were forced to pick between the two. Now, there are those out there who are claiming that this is a win for inflation because it proves that inflation is under control, that we won the war on inflation, which could not be further from the truth. The reality is that they were forced to pick between the two, and they chose employment over inflation. This tells us 2 things. Number 1, the current labor market unemployment is probably a lot worse than we are being told, which is most likely not a surprise to you or to me or anyone who's been following this closely. But the Federal Reserve, who has held off on cutting rates far longer than most people thought they would not come in today with a 50 basis point cut unless they knew that whatever economic storm was brewing, whatever was happening with the labor market, was far worse than what we're being told. Because they know, as well as you do, that inflation is here to stay. Because how do we get inflation? We get it through government spending. When a government overspends, they devalue the currency, the fiat currency, in this case, the US dollar, and that causes the prices of everything to go up. And what is happening today? We still are seeing government spending, $35 trillion and counting. The deficit is only continuing to grow. So you cannot have a situation where your government is spending more and rates are coming down, and yet you expect inflation to stay where it is or be lower. It does not mathematically work that way. The numbers do not add up. This could also all be seen as an easy win for the Fed in the coming months. We know that more rates are on the table, and we also know that we're heading into the holiday season. Anytime at the end of the year, we can expect to see seasonal workers coming into the workforce, a flood of part-time or full-time temporary employees, which always skews numbers to make the labor market look stronger. The Fed could come out on the other side of this and claim that their decision to enact a rate cut of 50 basis points is what helped the entire labor market rebound, but in reality, we can't trust anything that's going to be coming out in the future as far as their data goes. But what we can trust is that inflation is going to come back. I mean, it never left, but it will get worse because we will have lower rates, continual government spending, and a situation where we can expect to see prices rise as your dollar is worth less. Now, the why behind this is widely disputed. There are those out there who claim that this is all intentional because inflation actually is institutionalized theft in a lot of ways. It's stealing the value of your dollar right from out of your wallet in an attempt to help maybe reduce the actual cost of our debt. That being said, I don't know. The Federal Reserve could have pure intentions and could just be caught between a rock and a hard place. But either way, the decision they made today all but ensures that the cost of living is going to continue to go up and wages will not be matching it. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but your dollar is always going to be worth less, not more. Given the current circumstances, this is an attack on savers. While yes, I am in support of the economy growing and more job creation and companies doing well, the reality is that the system is broken. We are so reliant on government spending that at this point, the debt burden is going to continue to grow and grow and grow. It is so out of control that no matter what they're doing with rates, inflation is here to stay. And this is why I say, and I know I sound like a broken record, but it is so important to make sure that you have your wealth protected outside of the system. Because a simple decision like today, one that is not over yet, we have more rate cuts coming, is going to mean that inflation will continue to rise, which means that if you are trying to protect your wealth in dollar or dollar-denominated assets, it will be worth less. And that is why you need to make sure that you are diversified outside of the system, outside of the dollar, so that you do not continue to lose your wealth, that you are protected with physical, tangible gold and silver. Make sure that you have a plan in place because again, today is just the first cut of many that are coming. And we know that it's not immediate, it's not overnight that this inflation is going to just suddenly rise up. We wake up tomorrow. We are not in a hyperinflationary situation yet, but any reduction in the value of your dollar is a loss. That is my wish for everyone, to make sure you're protected. If you don't know how to begin or you want a second pair of eyes on your current plan, talk to one of our expert analysts, click the Calendly link below, set up a call today, and they will walk you through a custom strategy to make sure that you are achieving your goals and that you're protected from everything that's coming next. As always, I'm Taylor Kenny with ITM Trading, your trusted source for all things gold, silver, and lifelong wealth protection. Until next time.